Okay, so I can see, I can start as well. Okay, so I can see Dylan and Boris is already come, and we can start firstly, and then we can wait Joseph and also Jay come to us. And hello everyone, I'm Cheryl. It's very exciting to host a crypto market insight session with our guests, and I miss you guys so much. Very happy to back again. Today we are thrilled to have with us our guests who will be sharing their opinions on the market trends. So, as the host of today's discussion, I'll be leading us through a thought provoking conversation that promises to be both informative and also engaging. So, whether you are an experienced crypto user or just getting started, we encourage you to sit back, relax, and join us for what is sure to be an enlightening discussion on this week's market performance, trends, and also the hotspots. And the live session is broadcasting on CoinW Live channel and CoinW's YouTube channel simultaneously. So welcome all to watch, and please be free to leave your opinions or questions about markets, coins, etc. in the comments, and our guests will pick up some to answer. So let's go on. Welcome Dylan and also Boris to our live session. Very happy to have you here with us today. And about our first part actually is about the market review, the gainer and also loser coins. In this part, we'd like our guests to share your market insights on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto tokens, anything you want to talk about. So please be free to share your screen and let us to watch your charts. And we can see, I think this is Joseph, right? Joseph is joining us also, and welcome Joseph. So Dylan, Joseph, and Boris, who wanted to share first?
Yeah, hi Cheryl. I'll go first.
Okay, hello, welcome.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Here we go. All right. How's it, guys? Hope everyone's doing well. I've decided to share my my screen for a Bitcoin chart with nothing on the chart, and then I'll go into. I'm gonna do quite an in-depth talk about Bitcoin because I think it's important right now to see exactly what's happening on Bitcoin on the higher time frames, and then we'll discuss the lower time frames. Yeah, so let's get into it. So you can see Bitcoin right now, guys, literally pumped all the way to around about 109,000, 110,000, right? And then we've retraced all the way back down to this key level right over here. Okay. So this level for Bitcoin at 76K, we got a bounce from the zone. But the problem is, guys, Bitcoin is potentially, still could get rejected from this level right over here. Okay. The reason why I say that is because prices came down, retraced to this level, bounced, but now we are retracing back into a key level. And the reason why this level is key is because if you bring the volume profile from the start of this range over here to the current, sorry, to the dump, so you can see that massive move. So you want to do it before that, and you want to see that price potentially. Wait, let me just move this over here. There we go. Yeah, so you can see price over here. This is your value area low. So basically, this level where Bitcoin is at currently. This is a key level. A lot of people previously were long in this level, right? So this level has flipped into resistance. So there's a potential for Bitcoin to get rejected from the zone, right? I will speak about the lower time frames just now, but for me, it's really important for Bitcoin to close above around about 94K on the weekly time frame. So this is it's a key level for Bitcoin. So I would want to see price get above this level within the week. Okay. So for me now, I'm looking at a potential setup on the lower time frames, but we can discuss that just now. But if we go down to the daily time frame, you can see that price has not broken above this previous high as well. So we have this high over here for Bitcoin. We pretty much tapped that high and now getting rejected from that level. So there is a potential for Bitcoin to come back down and retrace, back to, let's have a look. If we draw the Fibonacci from this low to this high, we do have potential to retrace back into like the 84K levels. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen because we did have an explosive move to the upside. But on the daily time frame, we do need to get above this key level here, guys. We need to get above this previous high, and the weekly time frame says that as well, right? So for longer time frame perspective, it's really important for Bitcoin to start closing above this like 94K level. Okay, this is a crucial zone for Bitcoin. Once we get above there, then I do think that we can potentially take out the highs. Okay, but for now, can't really do anything for Bitcoin in terms of taking a long at this point. I would want to see price above the zone. This is more for swing trading. There is a scalp setup that I will discuss just now. So swing trading means you take a trade on a for a longer period of time, where scalp trading is you go in and out. Okay. So if we do look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see, Bitcoin has pumped quite aggressively into that zone, right? That daily resistance zone. So there is a potential for us to actually come back up here and maybe form like a double top. So I'm looking at a potential scalp long on the lower time frame. So I'll go through that in just a second. And basically, if you look at Bitcoin on the 15 slash 5-minute time frame, I will put all my drawings back in here just quickly. I did take them away. But essentially, this is what I'm looking at over here. Okay. So right over here for Bitcoin, it's either we break below here or we break above this point, right? So there is a potential for Bitcoin to actually hold this level here. We look for longs back up to these zones. But the problem is right now for Bitcoin, there is this level to the left over here and this wick to the left that we have to get above, right? I want to see Bitcoin get above this zone over here, 93K on like the 50-minute time frame. Then I will be looking for the longs. Alternatively, for shorts, I am looking at Bitcoin on the 5-minute time frame. Basically, if Bitcoin can break this low at around about 92,500, if Bitcoin can break this low, basically I want to see something like this, right? Let me grab the tool again to show you. I want to see price break this low to the left. Then we see a retracement back into this level, and then we look for sells all the way down, right? So Bitcoin's kind of at a stage where, for me, it's at a no trade zone. I want to, because the thing is, there's just so much chops to the left. We need to see price either break this previous level over here to the left, or we need to see price break this low at around about 92,500 to look for sells, right? So this is more of a lower time frame view, but Bitcoin right now, there is a potential for it to go higher, right? So for the scalp setup, I want to see price get above this level here for Bitcoin. I want to see price essentially get above 93K, and then we can look for those longs back up to 94,200. Okay, or we look for potential sells if we break this low, and we want to be looking for sells back down to these levels at around about 90. More for the lower time frames, right? So honestly, not much to do for a long run. This is the setup I have shared on the Telegram groups. And essentially, let's just wait for this to load. It seems like, just give it 1 second. Sorry about that. Just 1 second. Let me just refresh my chart quickly. Not too sure why it's not loading. 1 second. There we go. All right, this is Bitcoin. I need to go back to the charts. Just give it. Sorry about this. The internet is a little bit slow here. So if we look at Zero, so this is the token, guys, that I've been speaking to. Sorry, I've been telling people a lot about, and essentially Zero broke on the daily and the 4 hour. So I'll show you how important this is, because this is one of the biggest. Let me just draw this. This is one of the biggest bull flags that I have seen in a while, and essentially, guys, Zero had a breakout over here. I'm looking at your long for Zero, potentially looking at around about a 70% move to the upside. This is more of a swing trade, but for now, I can't take it right now because we haven't broken on the lower time frames. But higher time frames looking decent. If you're a swing trader, you could look to like enter at these current levels. But because I'm a scalp trader, I want to try to get the best entry possible. So I need to wait for price on the lower time frame to actually break structure to the upside. But yeah, Zero looking good. Essentially, I'll give you my entry, but I'm waiting for one thing to happen. I'm just waiting for the 15-minute candle to close above 6.71. If the 15-minute candle can close above 6.71, then I'll take the long. But that's only if that can happen. Okay. So watch Zero, guys. This token is one of the tokens that I think is going to explode really, really hard soon. And the reason why is because we've had that breakout that I've been speaking a lot about on my Twitter and my Telegram for quite some time. Okay, so just watch this token, guys. If you're on the Telegram groups, you will be getting the signal, but essentially, I need Zero to obviously break this high over here. If we can't break this high, then we're probably just going to come back into the zone, consolidate here, and then you could look for a potential entry within this zone. Okay, so that's one of the tokens that I'm looking at. Another coin that looks decent is, let me have a look here. Actually, let me go over Ethereum, because I think a lot of people are worried about Ethereum. So let's have a chat about Ethereum, and then I'll give it over to Boris. But essentially, if you look at Ethereum, we did actually get quite a nice move for ETH. Okay, so basically throughout the weekend, Ethereum had quite a nice breakout above this previous high. We even had a retest and then tapped back into the 1800 levels. I did point out that I was looking for a short at the zone back down to 1688. But essentially, guys, this is going to be your buying zone for Ethereum, right? If Ethereum can get back into these zones over here, around about 1688, this is where I'd be looking to accumulate ETH. Okay, I'd be looking potentially, price can just go sideways for a couple of days, retest this low and retest this trend line, and then you look for longs back up, right? So that's something I'm looking at for ETH. So watch Ethereum. I know it's one of those tokens that is very, very slow right now, but Ethereum, I do think that when it does have its move, it will move really quickly. So I'm expecting something like this to happen where, price comes back down into the zone, and then we look for those longs, right? But the thing is, if you look at Ethereum right now, it still hasn't broken structure to the upside, right? We couldn't break above the zone, which is why I was looking for the short there, right? So yeah, for me now, I think Ethereum's probably going to come back down to around about 1688, and then I'll be looking for a long at that level. You can see Ethereum is still on the 4 hour, is creating high highs and high lows, but for continuation, we need to start breaking these highs. So I'll be looking at a potential long setup at around about 1688. That is my ideal zone for Ethereum right now. And then one more token is XRP. I actually wanted to speak about this earlier, but XRP, I think it's at a good zone for accumulation right now. It's one of those tokens you can see on the daily time frame, right? XRP has indeed broken this previous high, but we didn't close above it, which is really, really bad, right? For me, for my strategy, I need price to close above previous levels in order for continuation to happen, right? If this 4 hour candle for XRP closed above this previous high over here at around about 2.475. I'll put it on the chart, guys. You must watch this level here for XRP. Let me check it in here. So this is going to be my level for XRP 2.463, 2.475. This is where you want to be looking XRP. If price can close a 4 hour candle above this level here, this is when you should be looking to attack for a long position, right? But for now, we're getting rejected, same as Bitcoin, same as most coins are getting rejected right now. We need to obviously wait for price to obviously break out. Okay, so this is something I'm looking at. I would watch this closely if I was you for XRP, guys. We need to see price get above 2.2475, and then you can also see on the daily time frame it is starting to form this downward sloping trend line as well over here. So essentially, that is when you're going to see that massive explosive move, right? That is something I'm looking at right now. Got nothing really else to report on. I mean, the market this week, I've been taking longs and shorts. Like W, I took a short today on W. It was quite a clean setup. It literally, but it's pretty much back. I took a short over here, hit both take profits, and now it's kind of pumping. So what I'll be looking at for W is we currently back at this key level where I did take a short. I would want to see price start getting back above the zone, right? And then I'd probably look for those longs. But yeah, some tokens are looking good for potential bounce here, but I'll just watch out for Bitcoin here, guys. The thing is with BTC, we have to see price start breaking above these highs. Although if not, then we look for sells back down to like 91,600, potentially even lower. If we have a look to the left over here, we have this liquidity sitting right over here at around about 90,900 and then 90,600. So Bitcoin for me right now, I'm looking potentially for a long and a short. I'm quite neutral on the price action right now. We do need to see Bitcoin either break this low at 92,500, then we look for shorts back down, or price breaks as high at 93K, and then I look for longs back up to 94K, right? But to be honest with you, it looks like we're probably going to come down here as we did break this previous structure to the we did break this low over here to the left. So in terms of like market structure, we could potentially come down. So just be careful trying to long Bitcoin at these levels. You need to wait for price to either break this high in order to look for the longs. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the week. Watch out for Zero, guys. I do think Zero is going to be one of those coins. I've been telling people to look to buy spots on this token, as I mean this thing broke out perfectly. I would expect this just to continue high. Not right now, like I said, we have to wait for the confirmations. But I mean, for spot, you don't have to really worry about your entry. A 2% or 5% difference doesn't really matter for spot. But yeah, watch Zero, guys. Definitely one of the tokens that can potentially pump around about 70% really, really quickly. This is a massive bull flag that potentially can play out. Yeah, thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you, Dylan, sharing to us. That's very, very comprehensive. Thanks again, and that's quite answer like all of our questions today. Thank you again. And next I wanna ask Boris. So, are you agree with Dylan, or you'll have some different opinions?
I mostly agree Well, I can share my screen and tell you what I'm thinking. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I agree with Bitcoin regarding this. I mean, I agree with Dylan regarding this level on Bitcoin. So yeah, this is like the last, I guess, high back in March, right around 94.5 thousand, which was the high yesterday. And since then we are at resistance here. So price is experiencing a bit of a pullback right now. So we're off about, $2,000 off the high from yesterday, which isn't that much really, considering we did move up around $10,000 in the past week. So yeah, I think so far this is not that big of a pullback, but I think we could possibly have a deeper retracement, and I'd like to see Bitcoin actually retrace the 90K level. I think that would be a healthy pullback and a good opportunity to perhaps buy the dip. But yeah, overall, I'm actually, I'd say I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than Dylan is. I think like the price action is very constructive, especially if you look at the weekly time scale. Like I think this looks pretty healthy. Like we did pull back to the previous all-time high from the previous cycle, and we bounced from the 74,000 level that happened during Trump's tariff announcement, I think back earlier this month. So I think it's a good sign, and we are bouncing off the 55 EMA. So yeah, the 55 is like a very key moving average that I look at, and we found support on this EMA going back to like August of last year, and it bounced off of the 55. Back in August, and again later in the year in September, October, and then now we're treating it as support again. I guess this past month. So yeah, I think as long as Bitcoin can remain above 74, 75 on a weekly time frame, I think there's a good possibility we could possibly retest 100K, especially if we can get above this high from March 2nd. So if we can close like a daily candle above, call it, um, like 95,000, let's call it, then we'll probably retest 100K. But for now, I'd expect a pullback, or just for Bitcoin to go a bit sideways here, and then we'll see what the next move is for Bitcoin. And then another key thing is Bitcoin dominance. It's still pretty high up there, still at the 65% level. So this tells me that Bitcoin is still very strong. And then for Ethereum, I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not that bullish on Ethereum because we're below the 55 EMA, and while Bitcoin has like pretty much broke its downtrend and is technically in an uptrend now on the daily, Ethereum is still kind of like in a downtrend, especially if you look at the weekly time frame. This is not as impressive as Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is a much more healthy chart, just like clicking back and forth here. And then look at the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. Like I've been probably talking about this for years, or not years, for like a year now, but we're still on a downtrend on Ethereum versus Bitcoin, going back to like 2021. So until this reverses, I'm just not bullish on Ethereum. Like the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio is down like 75% since its highs in 2021. So I'd remain more, more bullish on Bitcoin rather than Ethereum. So those are kind of like, those are my thoughts on the big two right now.
Yeah, agree with you. Thanks very much, Boris. And what do you think about altcoins? Do you think the
Mm,
altcoin season will come or not gonna happen this year?
yeah, I think I think we might see a bit more to go in altcoins to the upside. Like USDT dominance is going down right now. So I think we did see a major reversal in USDT dominance, which is usually bullish for altcoins. So we'll see. I think some altcoins will perform well. But ultimately it depends on what Bitcoin is going to do. Like if Bitcoin can maintain this level, 90,000, head up towards 100K, then alts will probably follow, especially the stronger ones.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can share my screen
Oh,
quickly to
yeah.
show this chart quickly for altcoins. Yeah, let me just share this quickly. There we go. Yeah, so this is total three for altcoins. Right now, on the daily time frame, we did get a breakout, but the problem is this 852 billion level, right? So for me, this is going to be your key level for altcoins, right? If the altcoin if price can get above 852 and close above this level on the daily time frame, this is something that I'll be watching, right? I'm putting alerts at the zone because once this happens, I do think we're going to get that explosive move back into the $1 trillion mark for altcoins. But the problem is right now it's still below this previous high, right? So this could just be a lower high potentially. Um, it did get a breakout, but for confirmation, 852 billion. If I was you guys and you guys do trade, I'll be putting um, this level over here on your chart. And once we get above that zone, this is when most altcoins are going to run, right? But the thing is, right now, there's a lot of coins. Let me just actually quickly one more thing. Sorry, Sui. I want to speak about Sui, one of the tokens that um, I did actually long last week. Let me have a look. Yeah, so Sui, one of the tokens that's looking super bullish this cycle. I'm really bullish on Sui this cycle, and the reason why is because we've broken structure to the upside, right? We've broken multiple highs. So if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see over here we broke this previous high, and this is definitely something that you can't ignore, right? So I think you don't have much time left on Sui. I think the train's already left. I honestly think the next pullback that is going to be when you should start accumulating, right? So watch Sweet. I think this thing's going to run straight back up to these highs around about $5 very very soon. I do think that we're going to get that retracement. This is way too explosive, so I will be looking at potential pullbacks for Sweet. But watch this. We did break the high, so structure has been broken. So that's one of the tokens that I think is going to do super well this cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks very much, Dylan. And I can see Joseph is already open your mic. So what do you think, Joseph? Among Dylan and also Chris sharing to us. So what do you think?
Yeah, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. The truth is, I kind of agree with what has been said so far. Okay, the market has actually been presenting a lot and lots of opportunity, and I guess a lot of individuals at this point would want to seize the opportunity. Okay. Meanwhile, let me try to share my screen. Okay, yes, hold on. All right. Okay. All right. For Ethereum, all right. I don't know if you can see. All right. For Ethereum, okay. Before now, I think the last this thing we had, I talked about how probably get so that Ethereum cleared this demand zone right here, all right, and we got some rejection candle, and right now we see that okay, the market is trying to push up to the upside, but still, I'm still of the opinion that markets might, tap this swing low right here before probably giving the major push to the upside. So right now, I'm not so anxious to get into the market and push, right? So basically, I just have closed a lot of BIM tokens, and I'm just focused on Ethereum, all right? Sherry, can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can see and also hear you loud and clear.
All right, thank you. So, and also for Bitcoin, all right? So, for BTC generally, my analysis last time has actually played out. Okay, now, like you can see, we had a falling wedge right here, and that's exactly what happened. The market touched here the third time, and it actually broke outside the trend line, right? So, we took this buy right here, and we're really out of the market. But for now, at this level, I'm expecting the market to retrace, probably like literally give a major push to the downside. All right. Yeah, as much as a lot of us would be thinking that the retracements might be very low or what have you. All right. There's quite some number of liquidity hanging around this region. And for me, I feel like the market might literally spike to the downside. All right. Usually, when you have a break of structure, there's supposed to be a major retest, all right? So literally that spike might be the retest to the downside before we see anything push to the upside. So I'm of the opinion that at this point, except we had some kind of supporting fundamentals that will probably push the market to break the 96, 95 level. That's this resistance at this level, right? This resistance. If the market break this resistance and we head towards the 96 level, probably the bull run might continue, and it will be positivity for the altcoins. All right. So that's just all for now. For now, I'm personally waiting for the market to give a major reversal to the downside, then see what the market can do. Then I'll go in for my meme tokens and the likes. All right. But for now, just to profit on the BTC buy that just happened, and probably anticipating this reversal to happen.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks, Joseph, sharing to us. And actually, we prepared some like 4 questions, and we wanted to discuss with you guys. But we are still have one guest who is Jay. So, Mouse, would you like to check whether Jay will come and let us to decide whether we're waiting for him or we just keep going for the discussion part?
I think we can just keep going, and I will contact Jay and whether and
Yeah. Okay.
So please just keep going. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so here we go. So this part is actually about market trend discussion. And so first the question we wanted to ask with you guys is about the SPY. We're now seeing a large number of companies and institutions buying BTC, including but not limited to MicroStrategy, BlackRock, ARK, etc. So could this fuel a perpetual bull market for Bitcoin, or just like SPY has trended over the past few decades? So what do you guys think about this question? Boris, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for sure, especially Bitcoin, I think yeah, I think it could very much continue, being a bull market for Bitcoin, especially just looking at the chart of the S&P or the SPY. Did have a much more like corrective pullback over the last few weeks, while I think Bitcoin has actually maintained its structure better. Like I think the S&P, it actually went below its 55 week, 55 period weekly moving average, while Bitcoin has remained above it. So yeah, if anything, I think crypto has been showing relative strength versus the S&P and probably the Nasdaq. So I think for sure, yeah, like with institutions buying Bitcoin and even sovereign governments getting into the game, I think, yeah, I remain bullish on Bitcoin.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Mhm.
And Dina, I can see you opened your mic previously. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Boris. I think, obviously this cycle has mainly just been like a Bitcoin cycle, and it's mainly due to the fact that we're getting all these institutions buying, and so it's just for me right now. It's mainly always focused on Bitcoin. I know Boris always says it, buy Bitcoin. I do think that alt season will come. We'll chat about that just now, but I do think for this question, Boris kind of already answered it. I do think that it's really bullish for Bitcoin, and it's holding up relatively well compared to the stock market.
Okay, got it. And next question actually is about Ethereum, and you guys talked about Ethereum in the last segmentation, but a lot of our audiences are really curious about Ethereum. So I wanted to ask more deeply. I think so. Recently, Bitcoin has rebounded back to 92K, right? And but Ethereum still runs below 2000s. If Ethereum sees a strong rally, would you continue holding or take profits by reducing your position? And also, what's your guys' recommendation about Ethereum?
Yeah,
Dylan, yeah.
I'll start this one. Yeah, I think Ethereum, it's one of those ones right now where a lot of people have lost a lot of faith and a lot of doubt in Ethereum. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's over. Obviously it's not looking great, the chart right now. But there is opportunity there, right? For me, like I am holding ETH. I am down on my ETH position, but I'm not gonna just sell it because there's a lot of other altcoins that um I'd rather hold ETH than some other altcoins at this point because it has a lot more market share and a lot more market cap than most other coins, and everyone knows Ethereum in terms of even non-crypto, right? So in terms of if Ethereum does start pumping, I will be looking maybe to even load a little bit off because the problem is, like Boris was saying, if you look at the chart, um, it did break structure, but it didn't actually break the lows of 1,500. I would only really get worried if Ethereum can close below 1,500 on the weekly time frame, right? If that happens, then I would probably be like, okay, Ethereum is probably going lower, and yeah, I don't think it's gonna come back to the highs. But right now, because we are holding that level, I do have faith that ETH can potentially continue higher. So if price can close above like 2,000 on the weekly time frame, then I would potentially see ETH going back up to like 2,500. But in terms of taking profits, I do think I think a lot of people go through this stage, right, where it's crypto. I remember 2021 cycle, everyone was the same, right? Everyone's so scared, what's happening with the altcoins, what's happening with Ethereum. It's the same exact thing, right? Things will come back. You just have to have patience. I know a lot of people are, it's a stressful time holding these tokens where you invested your money in, and you aren't seeing these returns, right? But crypto is like that. It's one of those games where you can't really be in it if you aren't prepared to wait, right? And you aren't prepared to, because if you're not prepared to wait, then then it's not for you. And I think a lot of people, what they're doing with crypto is when they see like some tokens like pump, like Maro. I think Maro pumped like over 100% the other day, right? And then what people will do is, now a lot of people will actually take money out of their other altcoins and put into Maro because they've seen it pump, which is the worst thing you can do, right? So what I'd recommend is, if you have your portfolio that you already have now, I would suggest probably just to keep holding those coins and adding to those positions, because the thing is, if you start chopping and changing, then it's just not going to work, because some coins are going to pump randomly, right? You just don't know when it's going to happen. That's what happened last cycle. Not all altcoins pump at the same time. That's just how it goes, right? So what I would suggest is, have your coins, have the ones that you invested in, and then just leave it, right? Don't start taking profits and moving into certain other coins and doing stuff like that, because it's just going to make you crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you also for the recommendation. So, Boris, what do you think? What do you think about the E?
Yeah, I'd say, like, as I was saying earlier, while Ethereum versus Bitcoin continues to go down, like, I think at the same time it is a bit undervalued. So I'd say if you've been holding Ethereum throughout this time, where, I mean, it's gone down like 75% relative to Bitcoin, something about like the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. And yeah, I guess it's off like over 50% from its high of 4,000, like, was that, yeah, like last year. So I'd say it's undervalued, but I would just, as a trader or even as an investor, I'd wait for like confirmation that it's reversing. And so far, I'm not seeing that, like on a longer time frame, that there's a big reversal on Ethereum. So I especially just watch the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. If ETH versus Bitcoin can like turn around, then that would be like a signal for me to buy. So I'm not afraid of like, maybe there is going to be like a massive Ethereum pump. I think there will be, just a matter of timing. So when it happens, I'll probably miss the initial move, but as like a swing trader, as an investor, you don't have to like get in at the start of a pump or rally. You can just wait for confirmation. So it's probably what I'll do. I think, once we get like a strong weekly candle, maybe that'll be a good time for myself personally, because I'm more conservative, to get into Ethereum again. So yeah, I'll just be patient and wait for more buying volume to come into Ethereum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Boris, for
Yeah.
answering this
Actually,
question.
yeah, I have to go though. So yeah, I have some other things I need to do. But yeah, it was good to join you guys. I do have to go though right now, so I have to cut it short for myself.
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much, Boris. And our last question for today actually is about altcoin. So, Dylan, it seems like just you and me.
No
So
worries.
yeah, so this question actually is about altcoin and also meme coin. With
Mm.
Bitcoin rebounding back to 90K while many altcoins remains low, are there opportunities to buy altcoins and also meme coin?
Yeah, well, I think it's the last question, so I might as well just share my screen and I'll go over a couple coins that I'm looking at. Quite interesting right now. XRP just pumped quite aggressively. There was an announcement that literally 2 minutes ago, CME Group to launch XRP futures trading on May 19th, 2025. So you can see XRP literally pumped 2% within like 1 minute. So that's just what's happening right now. But in terms of the question, for me, like me and Boris have different views in terms of altcoins. Like I'm really bullish on altcoins and I'm really bullish on the market. I just think that it's delayed, right? I don't think that it's over. I don't think that we're not going to see old season. I do think that everything is going to happen, but it's just going to take. It's just delayed, right? I don't know when it's going to happen, but when you're looking at the charts, like the charts don't lie, right? Like old season is going to happen soon, and I do think that it's going to happen once. Let me show you this chart, and I spoke about it just now. But for the people that just joined right now, this is the chart that you guys need to focus on for alt season and for alts to have that move. This level here, total 3, right, shows you the market cap of every altcoin besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. So once we start breaking 852 billion, then that's when we have that push, and that's when alt season will start to happen, right? But until then, nothing is probably just going to go sideways. But look how close we are here, guys. Really, really close for a potential push. Okay, so there are a couple coins that I will be obviously looking at, and let me show you. Let me grab this coin W, not this one. There was this one token that I'm looking at for accumulation, and it was. Let me just grab it. Yeah, have a look at Mara. I want to quickly talk about Mara because it pumped like 100%. I think it was 2 days ago. And yeah, I'm actually looking to potentially accumulate Mara. I know it is a meme coin, but if Mara, because you can see it had a massive crash here, but it's starting to wake up. Okay, and you'll start to see this on most coins, guys. You'll start to see this within the next couple of weeks, where coins are going to start to do this, and you won't know why, right? It's just how cycles narratives play, right? So it depends on the week. Sometimes you'll have like an AI narrative play, you'll have like a RWA narrative play, you'll have a meme coin play. Obviously, recently it hasn't really been like that, but things are waking up. When you see coins start to do this, like pump 100% in a day, it starts to show you that maybe there's something potentially happening here. So for Miro, what I'm looking at is very, very simple. Just wait for price to obviously break the previous high, right? So price is still below this key range. Okay. So once price breaks this high, that is when I will be looking to actually accumulate Miro, right? My one of my one friends that is a trader, he actually bought Miro at like 0.1, which was literally 0.1, which is absolutely crazy. So he got this whole move. But essentially, Miro needs to break above 0.02398, which is his previous high, and then we're going to see that move to the upside. Okay.
Mhm.
Another coin, let me have a look here. Let me actually chat about Solana. Solana is interesting because I think a lot of people obviously hold Solana, and a lot of people are obviously wondering what is happening with Solana. So let's have a look at to see what's happening here for Sol. We actually did catch a nice long on Solana last week in the Telegram group, literally from like 133 to 147, like a 10% move. But look at Solana right now. It's looking decent, right? Price is starting to wake up. You can see Solana did actually come down to like $95, but you can see right now, if you look at the chart, we are continuously making these higher highs and higher lows, right? So prices clearly starting to show you that price is in an uptrend right now. Okay, so in terms of Solana, what I want to see is I want to see price hold this previous 147, 148 level, right? If Solana can hold this level, then I do think that we will potentially see price come up to like the $180 level again. So it's going to be interesting. It is holding up relatively nicely right now. If you look at the chart, you can see we did get a nice bottom wick over here. So essentially, this is grabbing liquidity in order for price to go higher. So I am looking at Solana for a potential bounce. Actually, right now at this level. So this is something to watch out for Sol. Another token is obviously Tau. I think a lot of people obviously know Tau, but Tau also had a huge move a couple of days ago. Pretty much, yeah. Let's have a look at Tau. Yeah, I mean, have a look at Tau. It did reach like 740, 750, and it's at 335. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of tokens are still undervalued, right? And Tau right now is showing a lot of strength compared to most of the market, right? So you want to be looking at these tokens right now, right? And you can see Tau is currently coming into a strong key level. You can see whenever price tapped this trend line, we did get a rejection from the zone, and we are currently at that level right now. So what I'm waiting for Tau is once we get that breakout, similar to what we have on ZRO, we can look for those longs back up to these levels over here at around about $500, and then potentially around about $700. So Tau is one of those tokens that I would not sleep on right now. Obviously, it did have a really big move, so there is potential for it to come back and pull back. But if we do get a breakout for Tau over here, you're looking at it going easily back up to these highs, easily. And the reason why I say that is because we did break structure over here to the upside. Okay, so it is starting to show that price is changing direction. And that is what you want to see. You want to see tokens like this start breaking structure to the upside in order for you to jump into these spot positions. Okay. Another token, let's have a look. Let me have a look at WIF because we want to chat about meme coins. But WIF got actually smacked. Okay, so if we look at WIF on the daily time frame, you can see the last 2 days it actually had quite a nice move, pumping around about 40%. But the problem is same thing, right? Exact same thing. We haven't broken above this previous high, right? And that's in order to actually look for continuation for some of these tokens, we need to start breaking structure. So this level here, watch this level here. I would put an alert there, guys. At around about, let me actually put an alert because I don't want to miss this either. We're going to put an alert for 0.578. Okay. So what you want to do is you also want to put like a trend line. Okay. sorry, you want to put a horizontal line on this wick over here from the 26th of March, 2025. And once we start breaking above that level, that is your indication to accumulate WAF, because that would mean that price is breaking structure and we could potentially move a lot higher. Okay, so WAF, I mean, check this token, it literally went from $5 all the way back down to 0.5. So do I think it's going to come back to the highs? Maybe not. But do I think that it has potential to pump? I do, and that is why I'm waiting for price to break this previous level here at 0.588. Okay, so that's one of the meme. Another meme coin. Let's actually have a look at Pepe. Let me have a look. I haven't looked at Pepe in a while. Let's have a look here and see what's happening. All right. Oh, whoops. Let me change this to here. Right. 1 second. Let's have a look at Pepe. So if we look at Pepe, let's have a look. I mean, look on the daily, same thing, similar to WF, but Pepe looking a lot more bullish. We did get that breakout, guys. So Pepe did get a breakout here on the daily time frame. You can see once we broke above this trend line, we got a massive move, and that's exactly what I'm looking at for. That's why I'm just telling you guys, I'm quite a neutral trader, right? I don't, I switch from bearish and bullish because I'm a scalp trader. But Zero is definitely a coin that you want to look at, guys. It's setting up something similar to what Pepe did, right? Pepe had that that daily breakout and then pumped super hard. So Zero is looking exactly very, very similar. So just keep an eye on Zero, guys. It did break structure. But going back to Pepe, a meme coin, one of the top, we could arguably be one of the top meme coins, maybe the second Dogecoin being the top. But right now it's starting to form a bit of a W structure, right? So essentially, a W structure is basically a breakout structure where price above the previous high, and then we get a measured move from the bottom to the top. So something like this. Let me actually draw it properly so you guys can see. So essentially, what needs to happen here is, let me grab this tool so you guys can see it a lot better. Price has pretty much made a double bottom over here. You can see price tap this level again over here. Then what is happening? Broke out, potentially coming back down for a retest, and then we get a push all the way higher here for Pepe. So I would keep an eye on Pepe here, guys, because once Pepe breaks above this level here, you can see we didn't break above here on the weekly, literally creating equal levels, right? You can see over here, couldn't break above, but respecting. Okay, so we need Pepe to start closing above 0.008846. And once we see that, I do think that Pepe is going to have that explosive move. So for me, like, there's a lot of tokens right now that are so close for that move to happen. And this is it's similar to the last cycle where a lot of people, don't have faith in what's happening on the chart right now. A lot of people are still like, oh, the market's going to come down, and and that's the thing. And then when everyone starts saying that, the opposite does happen. So I do think that Pepe has potential to obviously have a nice move here. I will look for potential long around about 0.008 because it looks like we're getting on that pullback right now. But for confirmation, guys, you want to be looking for longs over here. This is a spot buy at around about 0.00883, a daily candle close above this level over here. Mark this on the charts, because once this happens, I think we're going to get a massive explosive move, easily coming back up to the highs for Pepe. Quickly, before I jump into Dogecoin, I want to quickly speak about Bitcoin here, because we are getting that dump, and I'm waiting for this trade, right? So when I was speaking about it earlier, guys, I'm a scalp trader, so I look for trades on lower time frames. So when I do look at like a sell position, it doesn't mean I'm bearish. So I'm not saying I'm bearish. What I'm saying is I'm just taking a trade based on the lower time frames. So I think a lot of people get confused. He's like, oh, he's taking a sell, he's bearish in the market. No, it just means that I do think that Bitcoin can potentially come lower, right, until we get that move higher. So these are
these are like really small moves, like it's a 1% move, right? It's not like it's going to dump 10% here. So essentially what I'm looking at for Bitcoin is we break this low. This is for people that want to trade. If you guys are trading leverage, what I'm looking at is potentially once we break this low over here, we look for retracements coming back into this level, and then we look for sells back down to 91,600, potentially even lower, guys, potentially coming back down 90,900. And this is a key level that I would be looking at for longs. So I think Bitcoin will potentially come down here within the next day or so, because we did break structure to the downside following this wick over here. But it's not over, because Bitcoin potentially can have a massive bounce from this level, right? So this, you can see whenever price tapped this level over here to the left, check what happened, right? Look what happened over here. We had a massive explosive move, pumping literally around about 3% within like 5 minutes. So you can see Bitcoin potentially, coming down, and then we look for those longs a little bit later. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at for now for a short position for Bitcoin, if it can break that 5-minute low. But remember, this is a scalp trade. And then the last token I want to speak about is Dogecoin. Let's have a look at Dogecoin. What's happening here? Let's have a look. I did actually, let's check over here on the daily time frame. So if we look at Dogecoin over here on the daily, you can see it also had quite a nice move 2 days ago. We had quite a nice explosive push to the upside. But the problem is, same thing, we can't break above this wick. So the problem is, guys, the reason why I look at wicks instead of candle closes is because this is where people are selling in the market, right? People aren't selling the market at these closes. They're selling the market at these wicks over here. So in order for you to get into a position here, you need to wait for price to actually close above these wicks, right? You need to see price close above this previous wick, because this wick over here, this candle here, was the candle that created this massive dump for Dogecoin, right? So in order for you to be bullish on Doge, you have to start closing above 0.18022. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Put an alert there as well for this level. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for the day. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Dylan, for sharing so much thing, like so comprehensive. And I think a lot of our audiences, if you are listening, you must be quite better understand this market, and also the coins, the meme, and also the altcoins. So thank you very much, Dylan. Thanks again. And I think we are gonna to all the questions we have discussed, and I think all the questions Dylan, also Boris already answered to us very well about the Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, and also the meme coin, and also give us a lot of the recommendations. So thanks again. And I think we're gonna to finish our today's live stream. So thank you for joining us today. Especially thank you, Dylan. And about today's live stream is very important for our audiences, especially under this market. And please, to our audience here, be sure to keep an eye on CoinW and also our esteemed guest. You can follow the Twitter accounts like Dylan's Twitter and also Boris. They will continue to share a lot of really valuable insights on the world of crypto. And please, everyone, stay safe and take care about your spot. Good luck. Overall, I'd like to thank everyone for listening this live stream, and thank you especially for Dylan to share so much thing to us. Take care and see you next time. Bye. Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye, Cheryl.
bye, Dylan.
Bye-bye.